Three, two, one. Live on TikTok, live on YouTube. I'm here with
Let's
my
do it.
boy OG. Go hard. Tell him about yourself.
Hey, what's going on, people, man? So I'm Mr. Go Hard, man. From Nashville, Tennessee. I guess you could say a serial entrepreneur, man. I had many businesses, and I have a few now. Currently breeding dogs, and we're starting up a trucking company right now. So, a man of many things, man, and a perfectionist at none of them. We're working on it though.
Hey, don't let the perfection be the enemy of the good, right? So what kind of
Absolutely,
what
brother.
what kind of dogs you got?
So we got micro bullies, and just to give a little background on these dogs, man. So what they did is they took the American Bully and basically just shrunk it down into a miniature bull. Uh, and I love them to death, man.
So when did you get into that?
So I got into it about, I would say 2 or 3 years ago. I bought my first bully, and then, but I didn't have my first litter until last year. So been doing it for 3 years. Actually started last year.
So 3 years. And what does that like entail? How does one get started in the bully game?
Basically, man, it takes a lot of research, a lot of learning and reading. The biggest mistake I made was I did do research. But basically, how do you get into it is you want to find that first and foremost, you want to find your vision. What are you looking for? What do you want to get out of a dog? What kind of dog do you want to create? And then you go seek out that dog, and basically breed it to a male that that's in your vision. Breed it to that male and create the dog you want.
So what is your vision for your for the bullies that you're going after?
So I like color. I like really small, compact, bullied up. A lot of girth. Those type of bullies. A lot of people want tails. I'm not big on tails. They can have them or not, but I want that small. When you look at that dog, man, you just think he's been in the weight room.
Yeah, I'm looking at OG Go Hard. I'm looking at some of his. Happened. My computer just froze out there. That was completely my bad, y'all. So what's the prize bully right now? What's his name?
Bullwicks,
Bullwicks. And
yes, sir.
how far did you have to travel to get Bullwicks?
So Bullwicks, I actually created Bullwicks myself. I have his mom here, and what I did was bred his mom to a male out in Florida to produce Bullwicks.
So you like reached out to other bully creators on IG, or how does that process work?
Yeah, so I actually found this guy. I was in Savannah, Georgia, at a bully show. I found him. I saw his dog, and we connected really well. We're actually gonna do a couple more breedings, but yeah, you can find him through Facebook, Instagram, or meet them at bully shows. Networking is really big.
So you feel like your role in this game, as far as like other entrepreneurs, other bullies, is to mentor the up and coming entrepreneurs, up and coming bully breeders, or is that what do you feel like your role is in that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm kind of taking on that role now. I have a few uh, breeders up under me that they reached out, and they're really kind of, they may take on the Go Hard name, and we may franchise out to a couple of different states. Uh, but yeah, because in this game you don't see a lot of the I guess OGs, you would say, reaching out and helping out the younger up and coming breeders. So I feel like that's my calling, to help them out.
Yeah, I feel like you see this in everything. There's a saying. It's the keys to success. The principles. Everything equals everything. So any principle that works, it works for everything in
Yeah,
reality. And I just feel like it's something you see a lot is just the scarcity mindset of like they just I don't know, some old heads are just they think there's not enough to go around or something like that, but it's like, bro, they printed $7 trillion last year. There's enough
There's
money to go
plenty,
around. You just got to figure
plenty.
out what you got to do to make it happen for yourself. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And I think for me, if I mentor somebody and they come up and they become bigger than me, that's a win for me. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I don't know. That's how I look at it. If I can help somebody win, man, I'm gonna help somebody win.
right. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you would never. I feel like you would never expect them to, but this is like my philosophy too. Is just you know how I am, just
Yeah, absolutely.
always reaching out to other entrepreneurs and creators, and it's just like, how can iron sharpen iron? And I know that if I eat, we're all gonna eat, and if you eat,
Absolutely.
I don't expect you to feed me, but I'm not mad at you either.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what about this trucking? Like, when did you start that?
So that's kind of an interesting story. So basically, what happened was with that was I came to my mom because I was in the military. So I came to my mom and said, "Hey, look, I got this great idea. I can't do it, but if you're willing to listen, let's knock it out the park." My mom took off with it. She went and got her CDLs, and she's been on the road for like a year and some change. And what she's doing is learning the landscape of the trucking industry, and she's going to bring that information back early this year. Probably, I think she's coming off March or April, and we're going to sit down, come up with a plan, and basically we're going to buy a bunch of trucks this year and put them on the road, and take over that industry. Well, not take over, but step into that industry.
No, you said it right the first time. So how does that work?
Yes, sir.
You got to buy the truck, you finance the truck. How do you go about that? Like for the young entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so basically, right now, what we're looking into doing is buying a bunch of. We're gonna actually take the hot shot route. She's doing semis now, but we're gonna take the hot shot route. And what we're gonna do is buy maybe 3 or 4 dualies to start out, some 34, 36 foot trailers, uh, get some CDL. So we got connections with Prime. Uh, we got connections with Prime. Uh, they're gonna get them CDL certified, and we're gonna put drivers in the truck, man, and just roll with it.
So what is a hot shot for the people that they don't know?
So basically, it's trucking, except instead of using a semi truck and trailer, you're gonna go get a dually truck, a Ford F-350 or something like that, by a 34-foot trailer, and you're basically hauling loads, as just the same as semi trucks, and you're hauling loads with these smaller trucks. Um,
So what do you think the advantages of doing it the hot shot route versus a traditional semi truck? What are the advantages and disadvantages of each?
so the advantage of semi trucks is you're gonna make more money, absolutely. And you can be on the road a lot longer. Like my mom hasn't been home in a year and a half, you know what I'm saying? Maybe once or twice driving through. But you can be on the road a lot longer. Hot shot, your overhead expenses as far as maintenance and stuff like that is going to be a lot lesser. Uh, so it's significantly cheaper, but you're not going to make as much money. You see what I'm saying? You can't be on the road 24/7. Like I can't put somebody in a Ford F-150 and expect them to drive for a year, sleep in their truck for a year.
Mm.
Uh,
So you
so
feel like the barrier to entry is lower, but the upside potential is lower as well.
absolutely. But you're still, I mean, we're still looking at it. We're still bringing in we're going to bring in a significant profit from Hot Shot, if that makes sense.
Right. So how did you get like what did you finance the semi? Did you borrow it? Are you like subleasing it? How's that work? The one that you got now?
Yeah, so we're leasing it now through Prime. So that's another avenue that we're discussing now is do we buy semis, lease them out to Prime and let their drivers take care of it, or or lease them to any company, Walmart, Prime,
Mm.
uh, any type of semi truck company, and they take care of all expenses, insurance, and all that. We just get a check at the end of the day. So that's how we did our truck now, uh, just to kind of learn that industry.
Turning the assets into cash flowing assets instead of just sitting around appreciating or depreciating. Yeah,
Absolutely.
OG Go Hard was the first person that I met in real life that was like on the same path, and like
Man, it was
was separately in separate from me on the same path together. It was very weird. Like, is I don't know. It's almost like being in crypto. It's like outside of me, how many people do you know that are like obsessed with crypto? Like the answer is zero. And so it's like when you get obsessed with financial freedom and like
yeah,
we're reading all these books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, like Fake Money, all these different books, and we're like listening to the same podcast, the Bigger Pockets podcast, all that, and then like I meet you, and you had already been doing that without even me telling you, so that was like a pretty wild thing.
yeah. That was awesome, bro. It's been a pleasure knowing you, man. Cause brother, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I know you put me on some game for sure, and hopefully I do the same thing.
Absolutely,
Man, I'd be interested to
absolutely.
see like how the NFT space could interact with the bully gang and like how that could go because I got a couple ideas. I don't know if you want me to just like throw them out there, but I feel like if you get like a prime top dog stud, you know what I mean, you could have like your stud fees could be verified that this dog here is AKC or whatever. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah,
AKC registered with the bullies or whatever, and this sperm here is like the truth, and it's verified on the blockchain. Like I don't know how that could work, but that's how I could see my world intersecting with your world.
absolutely. Uh, and you kind of seeing it now. There is a registry out there where every time you register your dog, the paperwork is it's all digital, but it becomes an NFT within itself. Uh, and I really like your idea with you breed to my dog and it produces an NFT for you as well. So
So
it
was
could be
you
something in the works, man.
so was you into this like was you into breeding before? Like when did was this like the first time? Did you do other breeds before this, or how'd that work?
So I've always been fascinated with dogs. I've always had a dog. My mom, I've always wanted a pit bull. So I've always wanted to breed pit bulls. My mother wouldn't let me. So it's always been an idea. It's like I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. It was just a matter of when.
Mm. So you felt like you
Yeah.
was being held back to your full potential.
Mama, if you watch it, that's not what happened. But yeah,
That's pretty crazy though that you got your mom. She's on the road. Like she's really down like that,
yeah, she's crushing it, man.
man. So what do you how long like because I know we were both in the army together, and that's like the furthest end of the spectrum as far as like W-2 employee versus being an entrepreneur, the complete opposite end of the spectrum. So like how do you feel like that's different?
Uh, so you're asking like basically the difference of being a soldier and being an entrepreneur.
Right. And
Okay,
what's
yeah.
similar
So
too?
okay, the similar. So the difference is for one is that freedom of being able to choose. This is what I want to attack today. Whether in the military, it's like this is what you have to attack today. And so now I feel free. I'm just like, okay, if I want to wake up and go to California and do something, what I'm saying, I can do that. Similarities is it takes that drive to be successful. In the military, you're not going to be successful if you don't have that drive to be better. And I think it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. It's like you have to wake up every day and say, I'm going to crush this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how it's similar. And the Army really taught me some great traits as far as adversity, the drive, the willingness to be patient. I think sometimes we want to rush things and become super wealthy tomorrow. And I think the Army taught me how to be patient and understand like it's a process behind everything.
Yeah, the Army definitely taught me just how to take an L right on the chin and just go on about your day.
And take a L, man. Yeah, absolutely.
why, why are you moving these sandbags? Does it look like I know?
we just we just told to do it, man. We're gonna do it.
You know what's
Even though we
interesting?
know a better way to do it, we're gonna do it the way that we're told to do it.
You know what's interesting too is so 1% of all people have ever been in the military or ever were in the military, right? I don't know if you heard that before, but
Yeah.
10% of all small businesses are veteran owned.
Wow.
So to me, it shows like either they're breeding entrepreneurs or they're breeding people that are like, I'm never working for anybody ever again. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's a mix of both, man.
I don't know which it is, which one you fall under, but definitely like a lot of businesses, and there's a lot of funding too for the guys that don't know. As far as that goes, there's definitely a lot of support for you to do things the right way. And man, I tell people like the biggest freaking cheat code is the VA. Like I tell soldiers this like all the time, bro. It's like this is the most easy way to become a millionaire. I'm going to tell you right now. Every duty station you go to, buy a house. That's it. Like no money down. And these soldiers like,
Yeah,
it's like, what if it goes down? It's like, bro, you're driving that 2019 Camaro. I promise you that's going down. You ain't worried about that.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So that was a I can speak on that, man. So that's what I did. I started out at Campbell. I bought my first house here. Uh, and then when I got to Savannah, Georgia, I bought a house there. Came back to Campbell. I bought another house. Uh, and had I not been so eager to for other adventures, I think I would have kept those houses. But now we're reconstructing, getting back into real estate, figuring that out again. But the best thing I did was buy because I made so much money years later from those homes when I sold them. Uh, Not my recommendation. I recommend that you if you buy homes, man, if you get them for a good price, hold them things for years and years and years. Uh, but that was me just being young and ready to figure out new things, man. So I agree with that. Buy every duty station you go to, save your money, buy a crib, and then when you leave, it's going to rent out because you're by
You're literally at a
a
military installation, and I promise you, there's going to be other soldiers or service members there. Like that's the crazy dude. It's like the biggest cheat code, in my opinion. That is the best benefit of
bro,
the military is the VA, because it's not like you don't even got to save up, bro. Like I had to pay $600 for my house that I'm living in right now.
bro. My first house that I bought, I was a single PFC. So my check was what 1,500, 1,800. I found a house. I lived in it. It was perfectly fine, man. And bro, my only thing that I would recommend is if you can find a multifamily. I think I wish I would have found a multifamily first. If you can find a multifamily with that VA loan, man, you're in the game,
Yeah, because the thing is, you can buy up to a quadruplex, no money down, and you don't even got to qualify because all the other properties can be counted towards your income. Like that's the craziest thing. The only bad thing is they all, like, say it's a quadplex. All four of them separately have to qualify and like pass inspections. So that's the only bad thing about. But nothing in life is free. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
with every good, there's a bad. With every yin, there's a yang, and that's just how it goes. Like, yeah, man. Like, so I bought this house that I'm living in right now. I bought it like literally peak of COVID, bro. Like the very start. It must have been. I think it was August of 20. Right, I bought this house August of 20,
Yeah.
and you know me, bro. Like I'm working, I'm hustling, grinding. I got my W-2 job. I have my business. I do like DoorDash, Lyft on the weekends. Like an 80-hour week for me is light. I'll just put it like that. An 80-hour week for me is light. But like it's
Absolutely.
it's nothing for me to do 120 hours. And I say all that. to just say that my house in 2021 it made more money than me. And like every time I say that, it's so crazy, but it's true.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
crazy, man.
they don't make any more they don't make any more land. The land that we have is
Yeah,
the land that we have. That's how I got
absolutely.
into crypto in the first place. I don't know if I ever told you this, but like, because you know me, like I was obsessed with real estate. I was reading like every book I could get my hands on, as far as real estate goes.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, I learned that you could take your stock portfolio, you could take your stock portfolio, and you could use it as leverage to buy a rental property, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And without selling, so it's not a taxable event. So let's say I got 1,000 shares of whatever Walmart, right? I got 1,000 shares of Walmart.
Hmm.
I can use and like let's say it's worth whatever. It's worth $50,000. 1,000 shares of Walmart.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but I'm just making up numbers. But let's just say it's worth $50,000 in cash value. I could take my $50,000 evaluation and I could use that as a down payment via like margin on a rental property without even selling my stocks.
That's wow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I'm like, bro, they don't teach you this in school.
No,
And
absolutely not.
so when I learned about that, I was like, okay, let me take the same energy that I've been putting towards, real estate, learning all these books, listening to all these podcasts, learning as much as I can get because knowledge is the key. Knowledge is what separates you to get you to that next level. So when I started learning this, I'm like, let me take this same energy and put it towards the stock market. And I kind of just landed on dividends. That's what I could wrap my brain around. And dividends is like, it was simple to me. You buy a company, you buy their stock, and they pay you a dividend each month or each quarter or each year or whatever. Just like a rental property, I got a piece of real estate, and they're gonna pay me cash flow for someone renting out my property. So I was like, I could
Yeah.
wrap my brain around this. So I was dollar cost averaging each and every week into dividend stocks, and along the way, I just was like, I had been into crypto before, but I wasn't really into it. But
Yeah.
along the way of me dollar cost averaging into the stock market, hustling, taking all my side hustle money and investing into the stock market for the purpose of buying more real estate, right?
Hmm.
Along the way of me doing that, I started dollar cost averaging into crypto. And I caught like at the beginning, like way at the beginning, and I accumulated over like 2 Ethereum. Well, it was like 1 point something Ethereum at the beginning of the bull run, and it went well over. I turned like, I don't know, $1,000 into $6,000 or something. Nothing crazy, but it was enough
Yeah.
for me to. It was enough for me to sit back and be like, wait a minute now. Let wait a minute. So I sold all that, and I took all that money, and I'm like, okay, I definitely understand real estate. I got my brain. Hold on 1 second. Let me reset.
Yeah.
I can wrap my brain around the dividends. I was like, how in the world can I do this with crypto? And that's when I landed on mining. So I took that whole $7,000, which for me at the time that was a lot of money. I
Yeah.
took that whole money and I invested in my first mining rig, and I set it up. Made a lot of mistakes. I bought the wrong parts. I was putting things on the carpet. Made every mistake in the book.
Yeah.
Um, but I finally set it up. Finally got it going. And then once I got that first little paycheck from my miner, and I got it into my crypto account, and I sold that, and it was in my bank account, and it was real, and it was really real. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it right here. And then from that moment on, I've been obsessed with crypto. Just like, 12 hours a day plus just reading about crypto, like reading charts, studying charts, all of that. So that's where I've been, and that's how I got here to this moment.
What at, when you said that you realized it was real, what was that feeling? Like, did you feel like you had just discovered? Like, what was that feeling?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. So my goal with doing DoorDash and Lyft every single weekend with the
Hmm.
dividends income, right? I
Hmm.
was like, if I invest, because I was making, I don't know, an average of like $600 on a weekend or whatever, doing Lyft, and I was like, if I take all this money, 100% of it, and then I take uh, all of my tax returns, and I take all of my profits, and I reinvest it all back into the dividends. By the time my contract is done,
Hmm.
I'll have enough to pay for. And at the time, this was like 3 years when I started this. I was like,
Hmm.
I'll have enough to pay my mortgage indefinitely, right?
Hmm.
Just from dividends. And I was like, if I can do that, I can swing everything else. Like it'll be everything else will be cool. And I feel like that for me was like, I can take a swing. I can take a big swing because I know that the house is paid for. Well, what was going to take me 3 years in the stock market took me like 3 months in crypto, and like I already hit my goal. And I'm like, okay, I hit my goal. Now what?
That's a good feeling, man. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, that I mean, dude, that's why. I mean, I've talked about this on the other one, but like that's why I joined the army in the first place. Is
Yeah,
because I really I real deal believe in freedom. Like that is a core value to what I am, what I stand for, what I believe. To my core, it's freedom.
absolutely. I
Even
think
even
that's why we click so much, man.
right, yeah, that's true. So and but I will say like some mistakes that I made too. Just
Hmm.
like I like to be transparent with everything, and uh, just so that I can document it, and so that like other people can learn from me as well. It's easy to think that when things are good, it's always going to be good,
Absolutely.
and it's easy to get like real over leveraged in a way. And so that's what I did. I strung myself too thin, trying to grow too high, too fast. And
Yeah.
so my strategy for the next time when we go into the next bull run, instead of really tripling down on crypto, I'm going to diversify out of crypto, and I'm going to buy like you got some cash flowing businesses, like some boring businesses. Like that's the plan for next time.
Yeah.
So
I think that's important too. You got your hey, this is what brings me in that capital. And then now you once you start expanding, man, I think it opens up so many doors. Uh so
right, because once you put your base up to a higher level, like this is my new base. This is my new worst case scenario.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It just takes like a huge weight off your chest, and I didn't get there easy, and I know that you didn't either. And like it took many. Like I said, everything has a cost, and I've sacrificed. Candy Crush. I'm not on 1,726 level, like some people, and I'm not. I haven't watched every single episode of you or all this and that. But that's
You'll be
that.
able to do it in a couple of years, man.
If I
If it
even
takes
want
that long.
to,
Yeah, if you want to at that point.
you know. So that it doesn't come easy, and there's not everything has a cost. I would say, but
Yeah.
so how do you? So if someone like brand new, right? Someone's never been
Hmm.
into the bully game, but they're thinking about getting it. What kind of capital do they need to get started in this game?
It's expensive. So I would say 20 grand, it's going to get you in there. 20 grand to get you in there solid. Uh, and that's going to pay for your female or your male, whichever one you want to start out with. your stud services, your vet fees, as far as C sections and all that stuff that comes along with it. And so I would say 20 grand
So with like,
would do you well.
they're called miniature bullies,
Micro bullies.
micro bullies. So they
Mm-hmm.
can't do like a natural birth.
No, because they're so small, and a lot of times they have really large heads. Uh, they can, but there's a large risk when it comes to natural births.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
So a lot of times you just go ahead and like, hey, we're just gonna go ahead and you know do the C-section route or what?
yeah. So normally what we do is once we've got them inseminated and 30 days out, we hit them with the X-rays or EKG or whatever. I forget what it's called right now. I'm drawing a blank, but basically confirming that they're pregnant. Hey, they got puppies in there. 30 days out, we go ahead and schedule that C-section, and it could change. It can vary from day to day, uh, but you want to get it scheduled once you figured out, hey, she's pregnant. Let me go ahead and throw it on the calendar.
Hmm. So how long does a pregnancy typically last for a micro bully?
So it's generally the same with all dogs, anywhere from 59 to 61 days. It, it's not too bad on the puppy on the female, but
And they typically can do like one litter a year,
so they can do two uh,
two.
mhm, every 6 months.
But you usually skip the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Skip the first one.
So what happens when people don't do that? Have you seen
When they
people do
don't
that?
skip the first one, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's a lot of unethical breeders in every breed, honestly. But I know we have some, and some people have came to me, hey, you got a nice dog, you shouldn't skip the first breed. I mean, skip the first heat, and it's like, well, when you think about the complications, is the female mature enough to handle a pregnancy? Is she mature enough after the pregnancy to take care of the pups properly, like she's supposed to? Uh, is her body mature enough to carry puppies? Because if not, you're gonna. A lot of times you see a smaller litter. Instead of getting six, you're gonna get one or two. Uh, And so it's all about maturity level. I just don't feel like first heat is they're mature enough to have puppies.
So what? So you said ethical breeding versus like non-ethical breeding. Like, so what are some?
Yeah.
How what are the differences of like some shady practices that go on in the breeding world that you don't think are good?
Uh, so no, I don't want to disrespect any breeders. If you do it, then hey, you do it. It's not my business. But I think the number one thing for me is the breeding on the first heat. Uh, and then you got heat shots where they bring their females in the heat so that they can have puppies. Uh,
Mm.
the color chasing, like there's so much in the game that I just don't like the the breeding to bad dogs according to the registry standards. So you get dogs with bad elbows, bad feet, bad ankles. Uh, so it's certain things like that.
So how what is it? It's AKC, is that right?
So we use micro bullies. We use UKC, ABR, USBR, and there's a couple other ones out there that's just popping up.
So how like what does the process look like to get them registered?
So generally, what you do is of course, you got the mom and dad that's registered, and so what you'll do is you just go on the website. Hey, I got so and so from ABR. I got so and so from ABR. I want to register a litter. I've got this many females, this many males. This is the color of each, and then you send that paperwork into whatever registry. And what they'll do is send you a paper copy of each puppy's registry, and that's basically how that works.
Mm. So you feel like is it expensive to do that?
Uh, it it's $40 to $50. I don't think a puppy. I think a litter is $40 to $50.
Oh, that's really nothing.
So it's not bad. Yeah,
Has there ever been like some sort of like scandal with people trying to like falsify documents or?
absolutely. That's really big right now in the micro bully game. Is basically they're saying this is the dad of this puppy, and it's not. Which another thing that I don't agree with, but yeah, there's a lot of falsifying papers.
Dang. So what happened? Like,
So,
what's the biggest scandal that you've heard where someone actually got caught doing that?
ooh, it was a big one. Just happened this weekend, last weekend at a dog show, man. So, uh, Photoshop is another big one. So they make the dogs look bigger, smaller, uh, more colorful, and all these things with Photoshop. And so at the show in Houston, huge show, one of the best shows you can ever go to, Rumble in the Jungle. They bring this dog in, and the dog looks nothing like the photos. And so that was a big thing that went around in the news and the blogs is so and so is photoshopping dogs. Uh, but I think that's the biggest thing I've seen so far.
I feel like once you go down that road, like once you tarnish your name, like that's it. Like you're done.
Oh, it's so easy. It is so easy. So you have to be real strategic on everything you do in the bully game. Down to customer service. If your customer service is off, yeah, it's bad.
So that's like one thing that I've seen as well. Um, like I don't know if you follow Alex Mosery.
Mm-mm,
He's a really
no.
good business. He's a business channel and he has a lot of really good strategies. He's like a social media guy. He's like, I would say he's a marketing expert, really. But that's one thing that he's a big proponent of is he's like, uh, don't ever trade your name for money
Man, yeah, absolutely, hundred
because
percent.
you only got one name, and especially in the age of today with social media, you can change it if you want to, but they're gonna find out, and like
Oh,
you can falsify these documents, or you can, be a new person or whatever, but they're gonna figure out
yeah,
eventually. It's gonna catch
absolutely,
up with you. I feel like,
absolutely.
man. So what do you feel like are some of the biggest mistakes that you made on the semi business, like starting out
On the dogs or the trucking.
on the trucking?
Uh, so we haven't made any big mistakes yet. We're still in the beginning stages. I think a lot of times it takes years to realize, oh, I made a mistake here. But right now, I think we're doing really good, and everything's falling into place like it should be. So, but I
So what
think
kind of
a
cap?
year from
Go ahead.
now, my bad. I think a year from now we'll realize, hey, we made a mistake here or we made a mistake there.
Hmm. So what kind of capital is needed to start up like a leasing trucking, like to get on the road for somebody brand new?
With Hot Shot, I think 15K, 15,000 will take care of everything. The truck, the trailer, all the numbers you need, all the licenses and all that stuff. It'll take care of everything.
Wow. So what about like how your mom went? Like what kind of upfront costs someone looking at for that?
So she took the path she took. It was prime. I need my marketing marketing paycheck now, but she took a route. It was completely free. She signed a contract with Prime. They took her through CDL school, got her CDLs, and she did a little bit of training, and then she was on the road, man. So it was completely free. She actually got paid while doing it. So if
Oh
anybody's
wow.
looking to take that route, they go sign a contract with Prime for a year, man, and get after it.
Dang. That's uh that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
So after after you like let's say you have a good successful litter, right? So you have the puppies and then what? Like, what's the
Mhm.
process look like after that?
Uh, so it's a tough one. So I did it. I just had two successful litters. You go through the whelping process, which is probably the hardest thing of dog breeding. Period. Is keeping those puppies alive. Unfortunately, I lost two due to no fault of my own. Uh, but so the whelping, once you get through the whelping process, about 4 to 5 weeks, then they start to become self sufficient. Uh, And then at that point, it's just marketing, trying to sell these puppies. Whichever ones you don't want to keep is trying to sell them, and through Facebook, Instagram, any way you can get these dogs sold, man. I think that's another hard part. Is it wasn't hard for me. I got my puppy sold within 3 weeks, which was a blessing. Not many people can do that or say that. So
Right, especially like we just in a recession. That I think that probably speaks to the quality of your dogs. That they're gone in 3 weeks. Like that's pretty crazy. So like,
and everybody's happy, man.
how do you market them? Is it like through other shows?
So how I did it was Instagram and Facebook. It's just hey, getting these quality pictures and just constantly posting in these dog group chats and dog groups and just constantly posting. I think once a person sees a dog so much, eventually they're like, even if they have that, they see it first and they're like, if you got that, I can sell you a dog because eventually I'm gonna make you love this dog. You're gonna see it so much. if
Yeah, that's
you
pretty
even
crazy.
think about it, yeah,
Man, it would be like I think next level stuff for you too would be like doing something like this, like just bring a Mac out there, bring a couple mics, hook it up on your table, and then just like interview people about the dogs or like market, even like have some sort of show like talking about different like different the different bullies, the different big names, and what they got going on this season or whatever.
absolutely.
Uh,
That's a great idea, phenomenal idea, actually. Yeah,
yeah, because all you would need would be like you need like a little puck, and
Mhm.
you just get you a Mac or whatever, like some sort of laptop, hook up with your USB, get you a couple mics, and you could use your phone on your camera, but or a camera, whatever, and then boom,
Yeah,
like you're in the game, bro.
that's solid. Yeah,
And that would be a way of getting your message out for like the ethical breeding, as well as like just like I don't know. I feel like that'd be a good way to market with other breeders too, to network.
yeah, absolutely. It's a network, and I think for us right now, the biggest thing is getting on the stage of the world, right? So anytime you think about a micro bully, most of the world thinks negatively. Oh, these dogs shouldn't be bred. I think that is an avenue to show that these dogs are one of the best dogs in the world, man. Like companion wise, especially man, when I'm feeling down, man, these dogs will legit cuddle. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel what you feel. I know they say every dog does that, but I've had a lot of different breed of dogs, and I've never connected so much with the dog, man. So I think the biggest thing is getting these dogs on the grand stage and showing that these are dogs. You know what I'm saying? And they're really good dogs. Uh, and I think the Frenchie on the national stage, the Frenchie that ended up winning out of all dog breeds, a Frenchie, French Bulldog won. I think that was a step closer to us being able to hit a national stage.
So what is it like? Kind of real niche.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's your like? What's your top? Give me like your top three family dogs for just your
Top,
average Mark and Jane and their two kids, and they get a dog.
uh, I would definitely say French Bulldog would be my number one. Um, a Belgian Malinois, I freaking love them. They're really good protectors, really good companion dogs, and they're really super smart. And then I would say a micro bully or any type of bully, honestly.
Any type of bully.
Yeah.
So what is the what's the investment for a family of four looking like on one of those three?
So I think a French bulldog, you can get a really nice one, uh, 2 to 3 grand for a family dog. 2 to 3 grand. A Belgian Malinois is around the same, maybe cheaper. I think they go from 2,500 to 6,000, depending on what you want to use them for. Uh, then a micro bully. So if you come to me, we work out deals. Like I just sold one to a family for 650. I sold one to another family for $350. Because every dog that comes out of a litter is not breeding quality. So what do we do with those dogs? Like I'm not gonna sell them to get bred again. Hey, I'll sell them to a family for cheap, or I'll give it away if I need to.
Hmm. So what about like if I wanted like a hunting dog? What would be your top three on hunting?
Depends on what you're hunting, but I hunt, man. I'm a big hunter. But so we use beagles. We got beagles for small game, rabbit, quail, things like that. And then they have like these walking beagles, which were a lot taller. They use them down south a lot for like deer, boars, and stuff like that. So I love I love the beagles, man.
So how would you train like if I'm brand new to
Hmm.
to beagles and like hunting, like I buy a beagle dog to hunt ducks, right? How would you train it to
Hmm.
do that? Like how does that start?
So I can't speak on ducks just because it's something that I've never done. But for rabbit, what we do is as they're puppies, we have a rabbit leg and we just play a little fetch game with them. Sometimes we'll put it on a fishing pole and we'll throw it out there. The dog will go chase it and get used to chasing and trailing. You know, as they get a little older, we buy an actual rabbit and we put them in this cage where the rabbit can't escape, but it can get far enough from the dog where the dog has to trail. And we just let it chase that rabbit around, get used to trailing. And then the biggest thing is teaching it not to bark when it's not on a trail because you don't want it to bark. Every time a beagle barks, you're thinking, okay, hey, I got a rabbit somewhere around here. You know what I'm saying? It's time for me to get ready. So you don't want it to bark when it's not on trail. So that's the hardest thing to break. Sometimes it's not the you know what I'm saying, people don't break it the best way,
Mm.
if that makes sense. Yeah.
So how long, like how many hours a week to put in to get like a solid hunting dog? Do you think?
Uh, a week. I would say an hour a day. And I think that's with any type of training with a dog. Dogs catch on pretty fast. I would say an hour a day uh, is not bad. And then once they get old enough, I think around 9, 10 months, you just at that point you just throw them out in the woods, man. Just let them go, find what they can find, and so
Uh,
they'll start getting used to. Once you put them with the older dogs, and they kind of pick up. Okay, the older dogs are looking for this certain scent. They'll pick it up fine. So about an hour a day.
but that would be like almost like compound interest, though. That'd be like you have a couple of like solid dogs to teach the young pups the way.
Yeah,
Huh.
absolutely.
So do you like? Do people hire you to train their dogs, or you just do that for fun? How's that work? You hire
I've
other
I've
people?
had a few ask me. No, I train all my dogs, even the micro bullies. But I've had people ask me. Actually, just a lady asked me yesterday if I could come train her dog for a show. Uh, but it's I'm not an expert, so if I do something, I kind of want to be an expert in it. Do a service for somebody else. I kind of want to be an expert in it, and I'm just not at that level yet.
Right. So who do you think's the best like trainers in the game?
There's a lot, man. As far as I don't know too many beagles. My grandfather trained me on how to train beagles, so I would say him. That's the only trainer I know.
Right.
Micro bullies, I think in order for you to be a successful bully breeder, call yourself one of the top in the game, I think you have to be a great trainer because you got to train your dog for these shows. Uh,
When
so
you're training them to like to stack up or like show off their big old barrel chest or what?
yeah, so stacking, walking on a leash, obedience. So which was a big one we felt on at our last show with Bullwicks. He wasn't, his obedience wasn't there. He could stack, he could walk, but his obedience just wasn't there. So that's what we're working on now.
Hmm. You think he just got like too excited? He's pretty young, right?
Yeah, he's 5 months. It didn't help that the speaker was literally right there beside us, so it kind of threw him off a little bit. So how we do that now is I when we're stacking, we're working, I'm putting the speaker right beside him so he can get used to that noise and that the music.
Mm. So
Yeah.
what's the end game as far as like the bully game for you? Like what's big? 5 year go hard. Where you at?
Uh, I think my ultimate goal right now, for the end game, is to sell a dog to China. They pay top dollar 6 figures for dogs, and they only come get the best.
Mm.
So if you sell a dog to China, then you made it. Especially a 6 figure deal, you made it.
That's insane to me. But
Yeah.
like 6 figures, that's I think what is the average income in America? What is that like?
It's probably around
50,
50.
forty-two
Yeah.
thousand.
Yeah.
you you just doubled up on a dog, but
Yeah.
years of hard work to lead up to that moment though.
Yeah.
So if Carnell has all the money in the world, what would you be doing? What would you be working on?
Right now I'll be buying gold. I will be buying real estate.
But you got all the money in the world. Like you have all the assets. What are you gonna work on?
Uh, I don't
Mo-
know, man. Real estate. I don't know. I think
But you have it all. You got like every
I
asset
got
in
the
the
real
whole.
estate. I got
Like
everything. I got
you own planet Earth. What are you gonna work on now? Like Carnell is the
I
king of
think
the earth.
the community. I think that would be my biggest thing is giving back to the community and trying to help those who want help.
So
Because it's go ahead.
I was gonna say. So how can we do that?
Uh, I, I think first we got to be in a position to help. So I, for personal experience, I've tried to help many people. You know what I'm saying, but they don't feel like I'm at that level to where they can absolutely listen. Like, okay, I'm gonna follow this guy yet. So I think that's the first thing is getting to that point to where it's like, okay, this guy, he's on to something. Uh, and then just, I think for me, it's just realizing like when I was, and I still am at the bottom, is like all I needed was that mentorship or maybe a couple dollars to get me over that edge. And I think that's how we could do it, man.
Mm.
Taking great ideas. There's a lot of great ideas that just don't have the funding.
Man, I always say this too. Is like even Jesus couldn't do miracles in his hometown. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like, so
absolutely.
at some point, no matter how big you make it, you're still going to be Jerry to your
Yeah,
family and your friends, and I'll still be Devin to my family and
yeah.
friends, and that's just like how it's going to be. But uh, yeah, that's just how it is, man. Like for me, man, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, like if I had all the assets in the world, if the world was mine, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing. That's making content because that's what
Mm,
I love to do.
absolutely. That's solid. That's solid, man.
All right, give the
Uh,
people top three books.
top three books: Rich Dad Poor Dad,
What's that one good for?
Fake. Rich Dad Poor Dad, man, it took me to a whole nother level mentally,
Keep talking.
teaching me about assets, liabilities, and how to separate those. The things we think are assets, 9 times out of 10 are not assets. So that book really helped me out, and it helped me realize like people aren't coming to save you, man. Like you got to do this yourself. You got to want it for yourself. People aren't coming to save you, or you're gonna be stuck at that 9 to 5, being a W-2 employee for the rest of your life, and praying that your retirement helps. Uh, second book had to be Fake Teacher, Fake Assets, and Fake by Robert Kiyosaki.
Two Robert
Phenomenal book.
Kiyosaki's.
Yeah, two Robert. Man, I'm a big Robert Kiyosaki fan, but phenomenal book. I think it taught me everything that we grew up thinking was real is man, that book is it's a thick book. It took me a couple weeks to read, but it it gave me a look into reality, what's really going on behind the scenes in America.
He called it
Uh,
God's money.
yeah, yeah. And then my last book had to be Rick Ross's book. I forget the name of it, but Rick Ross has a really phenomenal book out there.
Oh, he was talking about
Basically, what?
I need to write this one down because I ain't read this one. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, bro, phenomenal book. Uh, and basically, he was talking about how to cr- create your name into a brand and how to get branding deals and how to and just basically how to create your name into a brand and build that brand behind your name.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I need to
so
read that one.
really good book, man.
Rick Ross book. You don't remember what it's called?
I don't, but I'll send it to you as soon as we hop off.
All right.
But,
And where can the people find you?
so I'm on all socials. Instagram and TikTok is og.gohard. Uh, and then Facebook is just my name, Jerry Carnell Jr. And then my bully page is gohard underscore bully underscore kennel.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna link all his socials on the video on YouTube. Make sure you go follow him. Check out his work. Support him. Make sure if you're new here, subscribe, follow all of that. But we've been on here for about an hour this time, Carnell. So I appreciate you. I think we're gonna end it there.
All right, appreciate you, brother, man.
Hey, have a good one, bro. Peace.
All right.
All right, y'all. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless. I'm out.